obviously, budget, you have to keep that in mind. So what are some like top, budget saving tips, hacks that you've seen that you think work really well that maybe your guests won't even notice that you've kind of skimped in these places?
Yeah, I think there's so many things for every different single aspect of the wedding day. And obviously, I've got a lot of them on the website, but I'll run through some of my favorite ones of the moment right now. I think one of the best things you can do is choosing the right date for your wedding based on seasonality in your area. Certain seasons of the year are going to be more or less popular, and choosing an off-peak wedding date or choosing, a Friday night or a Sunday instead of a Saturday can really save you significantly. And really the only thing your guests will know is that you chose a different day of the week, but it might be a little bit more obvious than some of the other ways, but it's a really great way to cut costs on that. So another thing that I really like to suggest is when it comes to photography, since it is such a big priority for many couples, everybody wants those beautiful pictures to share on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, I think finding, an up and coming photographer who's kind of new can be a really great way to save money on the photography. Of course, you want to find somebody who maybe has a little bit of experience and get some firsthand reviews in those cases, so you're sure that you're getting somebody who at least knows what they're doing. But it's been so interesting because I'm in so many different wedding planning Facebook groups, and there's lots of brides who are like, oh, I hired this photographer on Craigslist, and their photos are stunning. And I'm just like, oh, it's a student from my local university. And it's like, that's amazing. You hit the newbie photographer jackpot.
I think like a good thing with that too is definitely to make sure that you ask those questions, because you definitely want to be sure that the person you're hiring, you hear it on both sides, great finds and then terrible finds. So make sure you have a good list of questions that you're asking, making sure that they're, licensed and professional and all those things.
Absolutely. I think there's so many different resources out there, and I think there's a list in one of the chapters of my book about like questions to ask your photographer just to make sure all the bases are covered. So that's definitely important as well. But another thing with photography specifically is hiring a photographer for like a shorter amount of time instead of doing like the full 8, or sometimes I even see 10-hour packages. Like you don't really need that much. And if you structure your wedding day really well with a good timeline, you can get everything you need in a much shorter amount of time and save yourself on those extra hours of coverage. We recently published a post about staging your wedding exit. So instead of waiting until the actual end of your reception to do like the exit with your new spouse with sparklers or rice or confetti or whatever you choose to do, doing it kind of early in the reception and then letting the photographer go home. Because at the end of the day, like, they're only going to capture, pictures of people dancing or talking or mingling. They're not going to be the most important pictures you're going to hang on your wall. So in my opinion, you don't need them. Like, get it over with, get the staged exit photos, and then send your photographer home and save the money.
I agree, because also your dance photos also kind of start to look the same, and if you have a bar towards the end of the night, the pictures might start to look a little different. So you might not need to capture those. They're probably not going to be the ones you hang, like you said.
Exactly. Another thing that I really love right now is kind of the trend of purchasing pre-owned items for different aspects of your wedding, whether it's like your wedding dress or decor items, thanks to Facebook and Reddit and wedding resale groups and apps and all these different things. There's so many options for benefiting from another bride's purchases. A lot of people are doing a lot of things themselves and buying a lot of things up front for their wedding, and you can get them at a steep discount by buying them from another bride. So I really love that. It's not something that existed back when I was getting married so much 10 years ago, but something that I'm seeing really, really growing as a trend, especially the dresses, because like I said, so many brides have, this picture in their head of like the dress they want to wear, and they might have like a specific designer in mind. And it can be like really disheartening for a bride on a budget because they're so expensive. And speaking as somebody who like really takes like the cost per wear into mind when I shop for just about anything for clothing, you know, you look at a wedding dress and it's like, you're only going to wear that once. Why would you spend that much money on it?
It is crazy when you think about it in that way.
It is. And so I really love, you know, sites like Nearly Newlywed and Still White. You can go and shop, browse online used wedding dresses, and they're gently used, pre-owned, and a lot of them have like good protections in place to ensure you're getting like what you are actually paying for, and you know, are backed by like PayPal buyer protection, so there's like a little bit less of a risk involved with things like that. And so I think it's awesome. Like why pay more when you can pay less? like pay less shoes. That's their slogan. But
so it's very gently used.
yeah. I think it's amazing, and I think it's you know, something, especially if you have a designer dress in mind, is an excellent way to save 50% or more on the cost of your dress. And then you can put that extra money towards the other high priority items that do affect your guests and not just yourself.
I love that. That's such a good
You can have it all.